So hello everyone, and welcome to Fantyx versus AtkPwr, where we're gonna go in live here in the best of 3 in the playoffs of WARNO League Season 0 Division 2, and we come in here on death row as the map bands are the lovely maps of Geyser, Two Ways and Two Lakes. So we will see Two Ways, Where to Go and death row. And it should be pretty cool game, as they also banned the third US Armored. AtkPwr banned third US Armored. Fantyx banned, no, the other way around. AtkPwr went, Fantyx banned KDA. So bans are pretty clear here. Big Boy Tonks, and KDA has been OP the last couple of patches, or the last patch especially. Not so strong anymore, but still a solid ban. Surprised that we didn't see any airborne divisions though, as they were all open. But we see two tank divisions against each other, the French and the German, 5th Panzer versus 5th Blindé. So that should be pretty hot for this game here, as it will start in 22 seconds when we go live. But beforehand, once more having a look onto the bracket. AtkPwr coming in as second of Group A, Fantyx first of Group D. So they meet on the lower end of the bracket here. Vulcan already advanced over Mr. President into the semifinals up here. Let's see who out of Fantyx and AtkPwr will do so on the lower side of the bracket. And then we will see who out of Matrine and Janra comes up as well. A lot of good players here. League going pretty smoothly, and Fantyx versus AtkPwr should be a pretty close game. They look really solid, but Fantyx, I would say, is the favorite. I mean, 6-0 in the group stage is quite a house mark. If you want to support these players, and by now they even get prize money in Division 2, as we broke that stretch goal already. But yeah, if you want to support this tournament and its prize pool, and support the effort these players put into, you can do so via contributing to the prize pool on Matcherino, link down below. And you can do so completely for free by clicking the links over here for Lucid Sound, for the lovely Power A. You can visit their websites, and you add 20 cents to the prize pool. You don't have to click anything on the website, you don't have to sign up for anything on the websites, you just have to visit them. You add 20 cents to the prize pool. So, easy free money to the prize pool that gets paid out in real cash in the end to some of the players. And you can also contribute directly. Like, for example, Sinbad and Def Mingler here, so did big shout out to them for their big contributions to the prize pool. And to everyone who did smaller contributions as well, every little cent is heavily welcome. So, yeah, big thanks there. Also, thanks for the raid, Phoenix. And yeah, above you can also see there's a nice stretch goal. If we get enough Twitch subs till the finals, I will wear a fancy uniform. This lovely hat and more, for example. Just a small sneak peek. If we can get to 50 Twitch subs till then, I will wear a fancy uniform for the WARNO League Season 0 finals. And yep, bands and picks up there. Let's go in, as both sides are setting up, and let's talk a bit about the matchup here. As Fantyx is coming in on the left side, coming in with AMX 10 RCs. Those are obviously the scary beasts here. AMX 10 still really strong, got nerfed a bit. The normal ones lost penetration, and the other one got a bit more expensive and lost a good amount of availability, but they're still really scary. They have very good optics, they have great range, they have a good gun, and they are fast and relatively stealthy as well. So they can ambush really well, and dealing with them can be quite annoying. I hope AtkPwr doesn't get too frustrated by them. AtkPwr always a bit on the end of getting frustrated relatively quickly, so yeah, if you can get AtkPwr tilted, AtkPwr is play level drops quite a bit. I hope he doesn't get tilted too quickly here. As he's setting up with a good amount of recolored rifles, Jäger AtkPwrs and Fantyx over here with the 5th Panzer. 5th Panzer, the bread and butter division of the Germans. Panzer Grenadiers, Martyrs, Leo 181s up to 2A4s, all the big tonks of the Germans, of the Bundeswehr in there. Fantyx moving up in front, Jäger AtkPwr coming in here as well. The recoilless rifles, I'm not the biggest fan of the West German ones, as they have a pretty low rate of fire. Milan 2, pretty decent ATGM, obviously helpful against the AMXs. AMXs will take a while to kill them. They get killed off quite quickly by the Milan 2s. So that is pretty helpful. Milan coming around over here with some nice ATGMs Milan on the P4. P4 Milan, still pretty good. Got a bit more expensive though, so it's not as cost efficient as it once was. The French, in general, got nerfed a solid bit over the last couple of patches. The Apilas, for example, lost accuracy now as well. So they're still pretty strong, but they're not completely nuts anymore. I would say still matchup, in my eyes, still favored somewhat into towards the French. But this is one of the maps where the Germans can hold up for sure. Because you can't roam around as wildly with the AMX-10s as you can do on some other maps. And get onto all the nasty spots. And 5th Panzer also now has Apaches. And not just 2, as they had last patch when they first got them, but Rocket Apaches actually now come with 2 per card, so you get up to 4 Apaches. Whilst on the other side you don't get any good attack helicopters. You get only a couple of ATGM helicopters in the French deck. So the Apache advantage for sure is real. Air-wise, I would say Fantyx for sure has the better air tap. The French have a lot of air superiority fighters, and good one at that as well. So you have to be a bit careful of that. Infantry-wise, it's pretty close. Both sides having solid IFVs. The Martyr are the better ones. The French ones are a bit cheaper though. And the firepower of the infantry is somewhat comparable. The French only have the advantage that they have better anti-tank weapons on their infantry. The German anti-tank weapon on the infantry, a bit lackluster. Panzerfaust 44, not so great. You don't get that many Panzerfaust 3s. Whilst the French get the Apilas on quite a couple of units, which is really, really good, even after the 10% accuracy nerf. And their LRHC also quite nice with the 850 meter range. So should be a hot match here. Roland 2 will roll forward, Apilas and MX10 with P with some heavy MGs coming in here for Fantyx. Let's see where the MX10 RCs will get and if they will get any kills at the beginning. Like, that's one of the most important parts. Can the AMX-10s snipe any units in transport at the beginning? Or can AtkPwr get into position without losing anything? 3 AMX-10s from the get-go. Behind that, a good amount of different units here. Roland 2 rolling in as well. These don't have radar guidance anymore, but they lost range and accuracy for it. Are a bit cheaper now as well though. And yeah, should be still pretty helpful against helicopters. On the other side, Jäger AtkPwrs moving forward. Recoilless rifle moving in as well. Over here. Recoilless rifles moving in. Mirage, F1C, 200 lying around. Trying to snipe any helicopters, but there are no Apaches on the battlefield just yet. No AA either though. So AtkPwr is open for air attacks, and the MX-10 already finds its first victim. Gets the looks killed here, and I hope for AtkPwr's sake that he doesn't get tilted about that. As the recoilless rifles have to be careful. Yeah, Jäger AtkPwr transport gets sniped here as well now. Oh no, the recoilless rifles have to be careful. They want to go pretty deep here. Have to be careful, have to unload right now. Oh my god, lucky bastard here. AtkPwr doesn't get hit. Ooh, Fantyx actually moving on the shoot here. Yeah, actually moving the units around. That explains the low accuracy then. As the MX-10 doesn't have a stabilizer, it goes down to 10 accuracy when in motion. So yeah, a bit of a mistake there from Fantyx. And now the Leo 2A3s are around. Now the Milan ATGMs are around. So AtkPwr is in a somewhat solid position, but a bit further pushed back already. And the Leo 1A5, he has to be careful. The AMX-10s, pretty efficient against those. Voltagear with Apilas, also pretty efficient against those. One-shots them. Yeah, Leo 1A5s and 1A1s have the issue of only having 7 frontal armor. Cluster Mirage coming in as well. No AA to stop it. And the Leo 2A3 here might be toast already. Yeah, moves way too late. Should have fast moved forward. Then it would have gotten out of there. But AtkPwr realizing that a bit late. And this is not a great start here in this game. Marta 1A3 Milan moving around. And this is a pretty tough start here for AtkPwr. AMX-10 RC gets a nice hit onto the Marta as well. Recolor's Rifle at least gets one of the AMXs. With 17 penetration, they one-shot the AMX-10 RC, as you just saw there. So that's at least nice. In the north, Fantyx moving around. Apilas is around here. So the Leo 1A5 has to be careful. Doesn't want to get murdered by that. 1A1. Recolor's Rifle dealing with the Grenadier Voltageers over here. Has good HE, but the 6 round of... the 6 rounds per minute is a bit low. Milans get the Leo 1A1. A bit of a tough position here right now for AtkPwr. And the Leo 2A3 maybe a bit too early for that. Without any AA. Roland 3's now coming up. But buying AA after the enemy already did the damage with the plane is basically double damage. Because you buy AA, which costs you frontline units, and you already lost frontline units to the air. So it's like a double loss of frontline units. And I don't know if AtkPwr can really allow that. Usually Fantyx a bit slower on the push. But right now Fantyx can push pretty deep here now. There's little to stop him. P4 CV also coming in to allow Fantyx the take. As the Leo 2A3 will come into the north. AtkPwr Recon versus Recolor's Rifle over here. Panzer Grenadier with a Martyr sitting around. Martyr could pop out there. Maybe help out with the damage, but has to be careful. Yeah, as you can see, the 850 meter range, really a good amount of range for these AT weapons. Panzer Grenadier over here under heavy fire with the Panzerfaust 44, which has decent range as well, but not quite as good. Try to deal with the MX-10P there. Whilst Martyrs are moving forward. Grenadier Voltagear Apilas get a nice kill on a CV here. Roland's behind the line. And Grenadier's getting bullied. Apilas will get the kill there. AtkPwr trying to deal with this over here. But Fantyx now up to a +3. Has the CV in the middle. Has the AMX-10s around. Down the south. Recolor's Rifle is around. Leo 2A3 moving forward. Should be getting into a nice spot over here. But the Milan is already in a really... Like, this is prime estate when it comes to... For Milan, like... This is really good real estate. Put your Milan 2 into. Having those get that house is pretty brutal for AtkPwr because they cut off all the good tree lines. Like, whenever you move a unit into a tree line, it will face a Milan 2 into its face. And the Milan 2 doesn't have the greatest of range, but it has a good amount of damage. 24 damage is quite a bit. So, for example, the Leo 2A3 will have to be careful. And AtkPwr can't really afford anything to dislodge that there. Like, bombers are expensive, artillery is expensive, and dislodging it any other way is risky. So, this is a pretty tough spot for AtkPwr here in the middle. Maybe should already try to do something riskier, as the center game is kind of lost. If you try to keep on going for the center game, I feel like there's little to win there. And so I would say maybe try to do a big push on the side, and then when the enemy is busy with the side, try to go for the middle. Like, something kind of half desperate already has to be done about this, as the position here is really, really rough for AtkPwr at this stage. Leo 2A3 comes around. Is helping against the Grenadier Apilas over here. AtkPwr with their Panzerfaust trying to help out, but a lot of VAB with 20mm move forward. Panzer Grenadiers under fire as well. Milan, Mother Milan trying to help out from the side. Leo 283 trying to help out. Cluster Bomber though is coming around once more. Oh no! And something already killed the Roland 3s here. CV goes down as well. Cluster doesn't really matter. F4F is the fighter on the side of AtkPwr. Without AA, that thing doesn't win any air fight. Leo 283 has to be careful. Does smoke off this time around. Looks moving forward as well. Leo 185 trying to help out from the rear. AMX 10 on the other side though. Is in a pretty good spot as well. Both sides get a penetration in. Leo 283 now trying to come around, but here is where the Milan comes in. Gets a solid amount of damage already in. Cluster Bomber, ATGM Jaguar can come around for this as well. Gets the hit, gets the kill, and this is kind of game. This kind of is the game already. I mean, yeah, AtkPwr has CVs in here now. Gets a +1 currently, but that shouldn't be on for too long. Fantyx just needs to, yeah, 2 VABs coming up. Then it will be a +3 for Fantyx. And Fantyx has everything on the battlefield, whilst AtkPwr is kind of reduced to rebels already. Like, there's really little on the front line right now for AtkPwr. A couple of infantry units in the north, a bit of recon and a recon rifle, whilst on the other side we have AMX 10s, we have AA, we have a good amount of Milans, we have some tanks as well. Yeah, 2 AMX 30Bs on the battlefield, and we have a lot of infantry in really good positions. Puma Kangaroo comes in, can reload the Milan, for example. Looks trying to help out against the infantry. Infantry gets into range though. And yeah, 5th Blinde, still a really strong deck. You still have to be really careful about it. And the early phase of the game went well for Fantyx. And I'm surprised that we didn't see a ban on it, to be honest. Especially as Fantyx is kind of known for playing this division, and he plays it pretty well. And I feel like it's a division that is exactly anti-AtkPwr, kind of. Like, it can tilt you to no end. It has these weird unit interactions that just snipe you out of nowhere, and so on. All of these are things that AtkPwr doesn't like. I'm surprised that he banned 3rd US instead of 5th Blinde. Superflam getting pushed back over here. Milan moving in. And it's, yeah, it's pretty close to over. Like, we would need a really well set up comeback here from AtkPwr, and a couple of mess ups from Fantyx at the same time to see this coming back. But yeah, more Panzer Grenadiers here getting chucked up in the open. Like, in WARNO you need combined arms to succeed, especially with Panzer divisions like this. So you kind of need to take time, need to set up. Just moving units to the front line just doesn't work. It works even less than in Steel Division. In Steel Division it already is not something that I would ever advise you to do. But in WARNO it's even rougher, because recon is so important. And the tank, everything is so deadly that if you don't have all weaknesses covered to some extent, then the enemy can really bully you for that one weakness if they find it in your line of sight. Like having no AA, for example, at the beginning of the game, when the Cluster Bomber killed the Leo 2A3. So you really need to get all that stuff covered. And especially in tank divisions, like tanks, they are tank divisions, yeah, and that always leads people to buying a lot of tanks with them, but tanks are the end of a combined arms tab. Like, after all you bought everything else, tanks are great. Tanks on their own are pretty terrible. And they are blind, they are weak from the side, they don't kill infantry that quickly, and they are pretty slow and sluggish. So for a big gun to deal the damage, you need to have other stuff. And a Leo 2A3 that is not covered against air gets bullied to a Cluster Bomber. Fantyx did that really well. AtkPwr could have moved away, actually. The Leo 2A3 was on the road, could have fast moved it, but was a bit slow on the reaction there to get away from the Cluster Bomber. And the Cluster Bomber punished him for it, getting the kill onto that Leo 2A3. And then since then, the game is just falling apart here. Fantyx keeps on pushing. Leo 2A3 number 3 is coming around here. Has to be careful of air once more. Has one Roland 3 as air AA support, but has to be careful of the Milans here, for example, as well. AtkPwr not quite having the line of sight on that. Leo 2A3 smoking off there now. As more Martyrs and more Leo 1A5s are rolling onto the battlefield. Cluster Bomber coming in once more. This time the Leo... Oh, is it moving far enough away? Ooh, not really. Could have moved a bit further away. It's a bit of an animation issue still. Like, clusters deal more damage than their animation shows. Issue that we had quite a lot in League of Legends back in the day, I remember. But yeah, it's a bit of an issue here with Cluster Bomber still, but the Leo should have moved a bit further away. Now Milan is flying towards it, needs repairs. Oh no, it gets sniped. Oh boy. This is kind of it. No, really, like that was the last nail in the coffin. Like, with that Leo 2A3 killing off a couple of AMX-10s, AMX-30Bs, and so on. Like, Leo 2A3s can be surprisingly good comeback tools if you give them a solid core of combined arms around to support them. You get nice spotting up and so on, and they can deal a lot of damage quickly. They are maneuverable, they can dodge a couple of things, they are somewhat survivable, so they can take a couple of shots from mid-tanks and so on, but obviously not against Cluster. And then if the Milan 2 also comes in and follows that up, game falls apart here. And Leo 1A5 explodes over there. Fantyx on the +3. MX2 be hitting the Eager Aufklärer in the south. Those are under heavy pressure. So this is a really tough spot. Fantyx now moving a lot of units in here in the south. Well played from Fantyx so far. Like, few mistakes made so far in this game in general. Really well set up combined arms. Yeah, used the EMX pretty well. Lost a couple of them, maybe a bit sloppy, but like a bit over eager to move forward. They are recon units, but you still want to have infantry in front of them because they're still really vulnerable. Like, either you want to flank around them with them, but if you move them forward over the straight line, you still want to have something in front of your AMX-10s, even though they are recon units, because they just die to a lot of things really quickly. But they also deal a lot of damage, as you just saw there once more. M113 one-shotted Grenadier in it dead as well, and AtkPwr surrenders game number 1. And yeah, that was quite the show here out of Fantyx and AtkPwr with the wrong way of approaching the game, I would say. Like that matchup. So, got punished for it. Well played by Fantyx. Also 5th, to be honest. I know AtkPwr is familiar with the division, and that makes sense to pick divisions that you're somewhat familiar with. But it's currently just not a real meta division. Doesn't have forward deployment. Doesn't have great infantry. The Martyr now helps out quite a bit again. The Apaches help out, but it's still not quite there. So, yeah, GG. Well played by Fantyx. Getting a nice 1-0 here on the board. And let's see who will win game number 2. Can AtkPwr bring it back? That will be interesting. And yep, hope to see you all there. Hope you don't run away as we're going to go to a short break. And then we're going to be back. I'm going to get myself a new T pick for the map. But 79 for this map, good pick. 8th can't bully it with forward deployment. So 79 gets even stronger in that regard in my eyes. And it's odd match. So yeah, welcome back to game number 2, everyone. Fantyx versus AtkPwr. As we're back with a lovely matchup. The bands are this time around 3rd US and 35th VDV, or 35th Air Assault. And the picks are 8th Infantry for Fantyx, 79th Guards Tank Corps for AtkPwr here on Vertigo. So that should be interesting. Obviously a pretty open map, pretty favoring big tonks quite nicely, but 80 gems can snipe them as well. So TOE2s of the Americans can be nice. 8th is pretty much the bread and butter American division. Like, you get some Abrams, you get some rifle infantry, you get some Bradleys, but not too many, like only the recon ones. You get some lovely F-16s and so on. Good big artillery to hit the enemy as well. But the 79th, obviously the creme de la creme of the Red Army, with TADUs, TADUDs, Tungu's gas, Boratinos, and all of that shenanigans. So that should be quite interesting here. So, yep, should be hot. And before we jump in, once more, quick shout out. Match Arena, guys. Link down below. If you want to help out with the tournament. And check out playsdl.com if you want to see the rule set and the information about the tournament. Want to see the upcoming schedules and so on. Especially now, have an eye on this because the finals are around the corner. And if you want to catch them live, you should have an eye on this. Yeah, finals should be most likely on the weekend of the 3rd and 4th of December. So have an eye out for that. And yeah, let's have some fun, guys. With Fantyx versus AtkPwr. As this should be a good game. I would expect a closer game than in game number 1. As I think the matchup is a nice one. 79th and 8th are well set up against each other. Spaznats GRU with rocket helicopter coming in. Interesting. Yeah, you get a good amount of infantry, good amount of tanks. M1 and M1A1s, both pretty good tanks. You get a lot of nice TOW2s and dragons. So the other side, you get BMP2s, you get T80s in all shapes and forms, from the B over the BV over the U up to the UD. T62s, a couple of them as well. T55 in the cheapest version as well as the Flamer version with still 45 point cost. Good AA on the red side for sure as well. And solid air, obviously, with the MiG-31s. Helicopter-wise, both sides pretty similar as well. You get a couple more, and you get Cobras as the 8th infantry. But you get a bit higher quality, though lesser cards, with the Mi-24s on the side of the 79th. This is going to be interesting. Eaglas this time coming around from the get-go. Not get clustered. BRM1 moving up. Rajvetka getting into nice places. So this is going to be interesting. Bradley CV. Followed up by some ITOs and machine guns. M60s. Pretty decent all-around tanks. 2100 in a range. 15 penetration. 10 frontal armor. Good, especially good accuracy for such a cheap tanks. That's really nice about the M60s. 60% accuracy is quite good. Having a 50 cal on top as well. Though 50 cals got nerfed a bit again, so they're not quite as scary. ACAF, pretty decent thing as well. 3 colors rifle on it is really, really helpful. It having 20 ammo is also really, really helpful in that. Yeah, 1400 meter, 17 penetration for sure. Quite scary. You kind of want to kill that from further away. General, the M40A1 with 6 rounds per minute here. Decent 3 colors rifle. On the other side, we see a couple of Conquerors coming in for the north. Motostrelki Medis, normal Motostrelki all around as well. And over here, a couple of BRM with the recon. Good amount of Rajvetka. This time, no heavy tank just yet for AtkPwr. Let's see if that stays that way. Yes. I kind of think in every game we have casted so far over AtkPwr, we saw at least a Leo 2A3 from the get-go. So kind of would expect a T80 BV here from the start as well. There we go. Yeah. On point. T80 BV coming in for the north. Pretty good tank. Yeah, has solid matchups here against all tanks on the other side. Up to the M1A1. So solid pick for sure as a tank here. Against the M60s, it does pretty good as well. As long as you stay on the longer ranges. Obviously, if they can swarm you on the short range, they will bully you. But you can outrange them, you have an ATGM, and you can also win the attrition fight on the longer ranges. TO55s here coming in. Those don't win that easily against the M60s. But they are cheap. And 2 of them versus 1 of the M60s still should be a decent fight, as the game has started. So, should be a hot match. Military police with M67s, really one of the big strong points of the American divisions. M67s are really scary. The other side, Rajvetkas, trying to go up here. Let's see how that goes. Mi-8 with rockets coming up. AA-wise, we have a Chaparral coming in, but that will take a while. Chaparral relatively slow. 79 kmh. One Stinger team moving forward as well, though. No AA in the north. But the Rocket Mi-8 will have a bit of trouble down here. Gets the Spetsnaz GRU there quickly, though. Yes, it's a pretty long map, so yeah, having helicopters in this matchup is kind of worth it. Allows you to get there way quicker than the enemy, as you can see. Meanwhile, Razvedka moving in the north as well. Conquerors coming in to cover this with ATGMs. Surprised that the other one doesn't go into the building. I really like that building for ATGMs. TADBV moving up nicely as well. Bradley, though, can be scary with the TOW 2 against the TADBV. Does a solid amount of damage there with the ATGM for sure. But, I mean, so does the TADBV if it can hit with the Cobra ATGM onto the Bradley. As Razvedkas are in position, whilst Fantyx units are just coming in now. Razvedkas having a pretty low range on there. AT weapon though. BRM1 trying to help out now. F-16 already around to deal with the AA, gets the kill with the helicopter. Eagle-Us not getting any hits. F-16 lucky there. Has good ECM. 30 ECM is pretty good. Chaparral moving up. So the helicopter not quite dealing the damage that it wanted to deal. That's the BTRs and BRM1s are moving around here. Recoilless rifles trying to deal with the Motostrelkis and Razvedkas. Not doing too well just yet. Military police here getting shredded. As some of them got caught out in the open as well. ACAF is around in the rear. The M60s now start to pound the infantry here in the front line as well. TO-55 coming around, but they can't win the 1v1 here. Or the 2v2 rather. They have to be a bit careful. Engineers with dragons moving around everywhere as well. Pretty cost efficient ATGMs to get. Meanwhile, over here, T-80 has to be careful. Should already smoke off. Hopefully AtkPwr has that on his plate. Yeah, that thing needs to get the hell out of there. Get the repair. Yeah, I don't want to run it into ATGMs with it. Wait, did the M60s did move away, allowing the TO-55s to overwhelm the ACAF. ITOs, though, tried to kill them off now. But good movement there from AtkPwr. TADBV in the north has to be really careful. 3 hit points is nothing at all, basically, in this game. So you gotta be careful there. +3 at the moment for AtkPwr. Second CV coming up for Fantyx, though. So that +3 will not go on for too long. And Fantyx started with a CV, had the +3 at the beginning. So will stay ahead of AtkPwr for a while. Whilst another Spetsnaz Mi-8 rocket comes in. Bit more AA here would be nice from AtkPwr and OSA also. Whilst a couple of T-62 M1s come in. They have a relatively okay chance against the M60s with the first salvo of shots. They have better penetration, they have lower accuracy though. But they also have a lot lower rate of fire. So if the fight gets drawn out, the M60s easily win. So they need to be careful in that regard. TADB over here needs to be really careful as well. Gets a nice snipe there on one unit, but I really would like to see it getting repaired. The MTLB snap on the way, but that's coming in over the open, so the ITO will have a nice shot on top of it. Most likely. ITO not quite in the right building. Should be stepping one to the left. Then it would have line of sight on the complete road. On the complete road. This way, it doesn't have too much line of sight there. TADBV gets killed off. Mi-8 rocket under fire as well. And F-16s moving in the north. Will get the Mi-8 out of the sky most likely. Yeah, there we go. Spetsnaz going down. MTLB moving in as well. Razvedka moving in from over here. Ooh. ITO gets the T-62. BMP-1P moving around as well. EO-55 gets the shot on the engineer. Gets murdered by the M60 though. Yeah, against the M60s it doesn't stand a chance, as I said. Need other stuff there. That's what the T-62s are coming in for. Conquerors opening up on the Bradley. Can it get sniped? That would be really big. Oh boy. Oh, it looks good. Yeah, Bradley gets sniped. Really expensive unit going down there. But the TADBV in the north going down is a big one as well. So has to be replaced. T62 comes in as a replacement. M60 is pretty low, but got the kill there, and MTLB now has to get the hell out of there. Conquerors should maybe move around a bit to get a line of sight onto it. Meanwhile, in the south, Chaparral moving in, Mech Rifles moving in, TO-55s and T-62s hit up onto the engineers. TO-55s, them with flamethrowers, BRM-1 are around as well. TO-55 slowly hitting the engineers up here, OSA coming in as well. Military police from the rear. And Fantyx on a +2 now with controlling this zone. Another T-80BV coming in. TO-55 hitting the engineers up over here. Yeah, T-80BV pretty maneuverable, so getting them out at the moment is okay, but I would like to see some T-80Us in the long run, with once a couple more OSAs on the battlefield. Cluster bomber coming in. Okay, a pretty big investment for just an MTLB, and it doesn't even get the kill. And the MiG-31 is out, gets the cluster bomber. MiG-31's absolute beasts in the skies. Yeah, you only get 2 now, but still these things murder stuff. So bringing any planes in from now on will be risky. T-80BV trying to deal with the M60 here. Could have gotten into gun range, then it would be more efficient. Like, it outranges the M60 with its gun. It's now using attack move. With a fast move. It might have gotten a shot off there. Oh, still gets an ATGM off here. M60 gets hit here. Down to half hit points. Doesn't get microed right now by Fantyx. Another ATGM does fly. BRM-1 trying to deal some damage here as well, but now gets spotted by the M1A1 and needs to get the hell out of there. TGM flying from the Engineer Dragon as well. BRM-1 goes down. M60 goes down as well. T-80BV versus M1 is in favor of the T-80BV. But it's also kind of down to whoever gets the first shot. Seed trying to get the OSA. Doesn't get it. Quite unfortunate there for Fantyx. AtkPwr not on top of his AA micro there. Not having them turned off. OSA needs to get its radar turned off from now on. The Ravens, pretty good seed planes. Still a seed plane though. As the T-80BV is moving around here. 84 in the cover here though. Okay, gets only a frontal hit. T-80BV can tank those. Was close, turned last second there. Will stun down the fire team pretty quickly here now. And we'll get the kill there relatively soon as well. M1 Abrams coming around the corner now though. And yeah, that's on this close range, as I said. It's a bit down to the first shot. Abrams gets the first shot, second shot comes out simultaneously, it seems. No, T-80BV just that split second faster, gets the kill, really important kill there. Now needs to get the hell out of there, needs to get repaired. If that thing can stay alive, oh, it needs to smoke off, it needs to smoke off. AtkPwr, really late with the smoke, actually gets hit, but only deals 2 damage, as the T-80BV will survive there. Ooh, that was lucky by AtkPwr there. Dragon firing onto the BMP-1P here, dealing a lot of damage there. This T-80BV just needs to get the hell out of here. Get repaired back here. Shouldn't stay this close to the front line. As a supply helicopter comes in the north. Conquerors trying to get the ACAF over here. Doesn't get it though. Still a big stalemate in the north. M60 pretty low on hit points. Vesnuts coming in. AA-wise, there's an iHawk coming up now, but that's not a great anti-helicopter AA. On the other side, OSA moving in. But the T-80BV really needs a resupply. Ural on the way. Ah, oh my god, AtkPwr, get it out of there. That is so risky. And the smoke was, once the smoke is away, there's a line of sight there again, isn't it? Oh no, please. Please, 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 AtkPwr, move that thing away there. Oh, I can't look. I can't look. ACAF moving around. Conquerors. Oh. Doesn't hit the M1. Just ever so slightly misses. Oh, it's the M1. Goes back home. We get rearmed. M60 here is repaired now. Next to the lovely, lovely Black Hawk over here. Meanwhile, the ITO doesn't have line of sight here, but yeah, that T-80BV is in a really vulnerable spot, down to 1 hit point, sitting right next to its dead T-62 brethren. M60 pushing in the south. Chaprals coming around everywhere as well for more AA. Seed plane coming in once more. Can it get the kill this time? It seems like the OSAs are still not turned off. First seed missile flying. Gets the kill. MiG-31 comes around though. Gets one hit. Can it get another one? Yes, it does. And here we go. Big boom on the ground with the Raven. MiG-31 gets revenge for the OSA. Good kill there for AtkPwr. A bit lucky, as Raven has really good ECM accuracy on those missiles from the MiG-31 are not amazing. But does the job. Ooh, and the F-16 bites the dust as well. OSA plus Igla do the job here. Fantyx on the bad end of the air engagements there. But T-80BV, no! Oh, Ural, no! Ural wanted to come for a T-80BV, but gets sniped just before it gets there. Ito in a really nasty spot there for AtkPwr. Yeah, this T-80BV should be back here at least to get repaired, not up there in the front. This is just way too close to the front line. Please, Mr. Power. Move it away there. MTLB coming up for the situation over here. +2 for Fantyx now, who has a CV up here in the north. Another M1A1 moving to the front line. T-80BV firing onto units in the south. M60 here though can get a line of sight, and that would be quite bad for the T-80BV. There we go, M60. Oh no, shooting onto the Motostrelki here actually. But even a military police with a recoilless rifle could get rid of this T-80BV now. So this T-80BV has to be really, really careful. HE bomber actually coming in for the Ito now, but it doesn't hit it. Oh no, it even didn't hit the right spot. Got killed off by the Ihawk and the Chaparral afterwards. And it hit at the wrong spot. So the Ito is still alive here. Will now fire towards the... Towards what, actually? Towards the T-80BV. Gets the kill there. Yeah. Super unnecessary loss of the T-80BV in my eyes. Could have moved a long time ago. And gotten repaired. Using the Ural with it as well. And the T-62 here has to be careful. Still in range of this Ihawk. Ihawk does miss last second, okay. T-62 though has to be really, really careful. Another Ural coming up. AtkPwr under pressure. And yeah, we are gonna see the engineers pushing forward. Conquerors coming around as well. So M35 supply now under fire by the Conquerors. Gets sniped at least, so at least one nice kill there. T-62 opening up fire around here. M60s are still around, and M1A1 is around now, so the tank advantage in the south and the north currently on the side of Fantyx. AtkPwr has a bit better AA, has a bit better infantry coverage, I would say, but and has the MiG-31 in the air, but needs to do more here. Helicopter play will be tough. Yeah, tank play will be tough as well. What is shooting at this T-62 actually? Or is that just flying around? Oh no, that's just bouncing. The shots that are bouncing off elsewhere. Okay, I was surprised to see that, but yeah, it's actually not getting shot. T-62 coming around. Ural has to be careful here though, that can be shot. Yep, the Ural goes down. I don't know why the BRDM is all the way up there, instead of back in the forest over here. As we have an M110 now coming in for Fantyx. This is really not looking hot for AtkPwr right now. Spetsnaz 3RU under fire. Get pushed back. M60s moving in. M1A1 Abrams moving forward. Ito goes down in the north. Conquerors and Iglas all around. That's the M60s. And M113 A3 are moving forward as well. BMP CV coming in for the north, but the south is under a lot of pressure. There's really little here. Motostrelki didn't get repaired. Abrams now moving forward. A single T-62 won't hold the line here. So Periapio under fire. Mortars coming in, but like, what are you gonna smoke for with them? Like, you don't have anything to move forward in the smoke afterwards. So those mortars won't help you here right now. And the AtkPwr doesn't have much recon on the map. Well, has a couple, but not in any fancy spots. Doesn't have any major tanks, doesn't have any helicopters. So the position here of AtkPwr looking rather rough. M1A1's outclass his stuff on the battlefield quite heavily right now. Yeah, if the T-80BV would have been repaired and be around right now, that would be such a different story. Could have taken a lot of engagements way better here. But with the loss of the T80BV down here, this is a really, really rough spot. And I guess that's something that you still have to get used to as a newer player from Steel Division 2 WARNO, that you can repair all your stuff. And that you really have to focus that. Tanks have to get repaired. They don't have to stay damaged like in Steel Division. M110's now coming around as well, doing a lot of damage. BMP here actually trying to snipe the M60 with its ATGM. Motostrelky Medis trying to do that now as well. That actually might be a nice side shot. No, does miss last second. Advanced T62s over here move forward. Mortars trying to deal with the ITO, but they will be quickly counter-batteried most likely. Motostrelky Medis coming around. Rangers getting on top of the T62 though. CV goes down in the south. Fantyx up to a +4 as he has a CV in both of the center zones, whilst AtkPwr has lost his one in the south, and in the north he didn't get in there just yet. Mortars still trying to kill the ITO over here, but Mortars really not doing the damage anymore that they dealt 2 patches ago. SU-25 AT coming in. iHawk though is out for blood already, and good smoke off here by Fantyx. Does move through the smoke. Okay, that's that could have been kind of suicidal in the end. SU-25 doesn't get killed here. Chaparral doesn't get the hits it needed. So the SU-25 will get out alive for now, but didn't get a kill either. But the M1A1s are still around. M1 Abrams in the north. Fighting Falcon trying to come in here. Actually gets a hit, but not a kill there. As the SU-25 just gets out in time. And the MiG-31 is out for blood, gets the F-16. So the air play is still going well for AtkPwr, but that's the only thing here going well for AtkPwr. iHawk's out of ammo, but there's just so much on the ground here right now. A lot of MGs moving forward, M113s, M1A1s sitting around here everywhere as well. Military police out of their recoilless rifle shots. Saperi Apio getting hit hard in the open. And there's really no good spot right now for AtkPwr to leverage this game from. In the south, at least. In the north, TADU is now around. And that's why I wanted to see, I said, right? And now with the MiG-31s and the OSAs around, I would say this can be protected. And I feel like that's kind of the last shot of AtkPwr. Needs to equalize the situation in the north. For the artillery ruins everything. As the M110s start to do so. Oh, CV goes down. Yeah, that's gonna be a +4 again. TADU needs to be careful. A10 coming in. Is the OSA still alive? No, the OSA went down. And AtkPwr surrenders game number 2 as well. As Fantyx, this time, way closer, but still with 800 points difference, wins game number 2 as well. And we'll move on to the semifinals of Division 2. So, GGVP here to Fantyx in this relatively the shortest of our games in the playoffs so far. Really good show from Fantyx, showing why he's one of the favorites for Division 2. And AtkPwr, yeah, pretty good game number 2, but not quite having the setup and not quite having the luck, and yeah, still a couple of bad habits from Steel Division, I guess, that he has to work on when it comes to WARNO. But that might help him winning Division 3 and Steel Division, so yeah, I'm gonna see what happens in Steel Division League there. And yeah, thanks for playing to both of these players. GGVP to them. And yeah, I mean, they made it into the playoffs, so they played good for sure. And yeah, let's see how that looks now in the bracket. Fantyx up 2-0. We have 2 out of the 4 round 1 games in here. And Fantyx and Vulcan here waiting for their opponents, TK Actual and HR, or Matrine and Genra here in low 1. That's gonna be interesting. And I mean, I kind of could see a Vulcan versus Fantyx finals, but DK Actual and Ajor and Matrine and Genra for sure not half bad players either, so that should be quite hot. And here we'll see how this is going to go. GGVP to Fantyx. And we're now gonna go into a short break, and then we're gonna cover another Division 1 game